A less than familiar face has joined us on Breakfast Daily. Now he's going to argue with me because I said less than familiar face, but it's okay. He's here. Daniel Crancy. Yes, sir.
Why are you hating on DK? I'm not going to fight with you. I just want Apioko to be the one to introduce me. So.
Oh, yes, please. Let's give a round of applause for the Daniel Cranton, one of the richest men I know, one of the finest guys I know, and a very fine sports journalist at best. Good morning, DK.
Hi, Apioko. That's how it's supposed to be done. That's how it's supposed to be done.
Sorry, how you doing?
I'm very good. Let's start off with the Ghana Premier League. We know 3 teams have already been promoted. It happens every season. 3 teams are relegated, 3 teams are promoted. But this season there was something different because of what happened with Ash Gold. Ash Gold were demoted. It means the Ghana Football Association had to find a way to replace them. So they put together a 3-team playoff made up of the second place teams in each of the 3 Division 1 zones. So it was Liberty, Ebusua Dwarfs and Tamale City who played an all-playoff series. And yesterday, Tamale City booked their place after topping that playoff series. They drew 1-1 against Ebusua Dwarfs in their final game. They had earlier beaten Liberty by 1-0. So they ended up with 4 points, topping the group. And they've moved to the Ghana Premier League for the first time in their history. It's very interesting to see Tamale City's FC. Quite a young club. But it's quite impressive that within a short period of time they've been able to make it into the Ghana Premier League. It was quite a tough playoff series, but survival of the fittest. They clearly were the fittest at the end of the day. So congrats.
So Dan, that's what I was going to ask. We don't hear about Tamale City in the big guns, within that space. So how do you feel about that?
It's impressive. As I said, they are a relatively young club. Made their way through the divisions. Last season they finished. In fact, they were very close to clinching the automatic spot into the Ghana Premier League. They lost a playoff game against Tamale FC, and at the end of the day, they couldn't make that spot. But then, when the Ash Gold thing was thrown into them, because they made they finished second in the Division 1 zone, in the Northern zone, they were pushed into that playoff series, and they've taken their second opportunity. It's about grabbing the opportunities, and they did it. Really and a very young coach they have, Hamza Mohammed, done some impressive work over during his time with the club, and now they are in the Ghana Premier League. So we say welcome to them, and yes, I'm looking forward to Hearts of Folk traveling to the north to face them.
Yes, of course.
But let's move on to my darling Manchester United. We all saw what happened on Sunday. People were excited about pre-season, but then reality struck on Sunday when the Premier League opened up. United were beaten at home by Brighton. What they've done is that, you see, when reality shakes you, it shows you your level. Man United has seen their level. And they've gone to Juventus and told them that, Juventus, you have a midfielder called Adrian Rabiot. We are very interested in him. So Man United and Juventus have agreed a deal to sign Adrian Rabiot from Juventus. But the deal is not done yet. They still have to agree on personal terms. And Man United are in talks with the player's agent and mother. His mother is his agent, Veronique. If you follow the football circles, everybody is afraid of that woman. And so they are still discussing personal terms with him. But it looks like it will be done very soon. So Adrian Rabiot will very soon become a Manchester United player.
No wonder he was trending this morning.
So that's what it sounds good. We like to hear. Well, as a fellow Man United fan, all I can say is that's for us. We take our losses, we pick ourselves up off of the ground, and we just make ourselves better.
You said
we're
fellow,
not in a
right?
hurry.
Because I started by saying it.
Yes.
But
you didn't. You ran away.
I shouldn't have
you
said
see,
that.
DK is pretending to have left.
No, you see, in life is about decisions. When I was born, I decided to. So I can decide not to. Thank you very much. And another player who is on the move is Timo Werner. It looks like he's becoming a trend with Chelsea. He's a Chelsea player. He came from RB Leipzig to Chelsea. He failed, and he's going back to RB Leipzig. Same thing we saw with Lukaku. He came from Inter Milan. He failed, and he's going back home. So yes, Timo Werner has arrived in Germany. He will have his medical with RB Leipzig, because I think a £25 million deal. So he's going back to Leipzig from Chelsea, and that looks like it will be a done deal very shortly. My final story is very interesting. Aliou Cisse, he's the head coach of Senegal's national team, the current African champions. He's hit back at Napoli boss, Aurelio De Laurentiis. That's the Napoli president or CEO, if you can call it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, De Laurentiis said he will not buy African players again. He says he's tired. Why? Because anytime he buys them, they have to leave midway through the season to play in the AFCON. And he says he will only buy you if you agree not to play in the AFCON. And Lucy says, no. What are you talking about? Are you serious? That African football and international football should never play second fiddle to anything. Your country is first, and then anything else comes after that. So he says, what is this man talking about? That if you like, and you say you have power, don't buy African players and see. Because if we are being honest, if you look at Napoli's roster in the past couple of years, they have literally been carried by Africans. Most recently, their star defender, Kalidou Koulibaly, joined Chelsea. He made his name at Napoli, top world-class defender. They have one of the best strikers in the world, best striker on the continent, in my opinion. And Victor Osimhen from Nigeria also in their team. So they are literally, the core of their team is carried by Africans. They have a midfielder, Zambo Anguissa of Cameroon, who's a star man in their midfield. So this team is basically made up of African superstars. So for him to come out and say something like that, first of all, it's already insulting. And coming from somebody who has been depending on Africans to build this team. Really,
even though they go and play in the AFCON.
Even though they go and play in the AFCON.
You know, I don't understand the logic. I mean, I don't understand his rationale, you know.
You can get it from a point of view, but coming out to say it like that is kind of disrespectful.
It is very disrespectful.
When you have key players like that, nobody's really happy when their key players have to leave for a month or a month and a half to the AFCON and then come back. But you can't tell somebody not to represent his country. It's very unfair. And for him, in fact, CAF even challenged UEFA to issue disciplinary charges against him because they said you can't see that. Because what is going to happen is that if things like this are encouraged, other CEOs can also come out and say these things, and African players will now opt not to play for the AFCON. Because if we are looking at things, your club side pays you. So if they are telling you not to play the AFCON, or you risk not getting a contract, it could leave them in a very dicey situation.
I'm just wondering though, when you look at the football playing field, you know, pun intended, generally, are there not, like for example, if Africans were withdrawn entirely from all leagues across Europe, including the PL, what would soccer look like?
It will be very boring to watch. I'm not saying because I'm African. If you go to the Premier League right now, the best player in the Premier League is Mohamed Salah. He's African. If you go to the Bundesliga, the biggest star in the Bundesliga right now is Sadio Mane. He's African. Everywhere you go, the Africans are there. And they are big, strong.
Was it not the World Cup, is it 94? Or is it 90? I'm not sure, 98 or 94. No, actually, it's not that far back. More recently, where virtually the entire France team was.
Oh, that was 2018.
Yeah,
the last one. 2018.
The last one.
And people said Africa won the World Cup.
It's true.
It was
true. You know, I mean, so it's...
But even our style of playing, every section of you know, different continents, people from different parts of the world have their own style of play. And everybody would agree that when you're watching a typical European trained footballer play, it's a little more mechanical, the technicalities are there, but if you want the flair, the excitement, the showmanship, you know, you get that from the Africans and the Latin Americans.
I don't know how many times you saw a European doing scissor kicks and those kind of things.
No. You don't really see it.
No disrespect to them, but they know.
They know.
Daddy, thank you very much.
Thank you too. I know you both of you are happy I was here.
We are.
You don't want me to go, but I have to go.
No, we don't want you to go.
You don't want me to go, but I have to go.
If we wanted to join our department, so we told you.
Oh, I know. But just tell the people you don't want me to go. Because I can see it in your eyes. I can see it.
All right. He says we should tell you that we don't want him to go. Yes. But we got to take a short break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.